How many of you guys watch NBA basketball? How many of you guys actually like Lakers? Alright, so a few of you at least. I'm going to be talking about Lakers today and why they're going to actually be winning the NBA championship. I want to start with the roster. Many of you guys know Ramon Sessions played last year for the starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. And, well, he averaged 10.5 points a game and 5.2 assists a game. So, in this place, we got rid of him and got Steve Nash, which came in the same time with Kobe Bryant in the same draft. 16-year pro, all-star probably 13 times. And he averaged 12.5 points a game, 10.7, double the assist of Ramon Sessions. And then we got in the center position, we got rid of him. He had good points, got 18.4 points a game, and 11.7 and 2.1 blocks per game. That was pretty good. I liked it. He had good points, but Howard, we got him in like the 4-team trade. He comes out with 20.6 points a game, 14.5 points a game, and 2.2 blocks per game. Now, we upgraded the bench as well. We have Antoine Jameson. He's another center with 16-year pro. All three of them, Steve Nash and Howard and Antoine Jameson, do not have title belts in with 16 years and plus experience. You kind of won the title at that time. Antoine Jameson has 19.5 points a game, and he has 7.9 rebounds per game. Another person that was added to the team was a guy by the name of Jody Meeks. He averages 8.4 points a game, and that's good because it's off the bench. The Los Angeles Lakers last year did not average they barely averaged 15 points off the bench, which is bad compared to other players, other teams on the team. The teams in the NBA, I'm sorry. And we still have Steve Blake, that averages 5 points a game off the bench. I'll be talking about why people say Lakers won't be winning the NBA championship this year. And it's simply because you got Howard, Nash, and Kobe Bryant, all-star players, people that always had the ball in their hand on their own team, like Steve Nash. He always had to pass the ball, find someone open on the Phoenix Suns. You got Howard. He always needed the ball in his hands to make a shot for the Orlando Magic. And then you got Kobe Bryant. People always talking about he don't pass the ball and stuff like that. So with all of them, they always need the ball in their hands. And then to top it off, people say Bryant is just a third wheel compared to Steve Nash and Dwight Howard because they're both pick-and-roll players. Kobe has not had a lot of practice with the pick-and-roll because there's no one enough to pass the ball to him on in good flow, like Steve Nash does. And Kobe Bryant averages about 30 shots a game, quoted by Ricky Riley from ESPN. And people say, with 3 different captains on one team, who's going to be who's going to take charge? It's always been Kobe Bryant on the Lakers, and it's always been Steve Nash, and it's been Howard taking control. So basically, they're facing the same situation as Miami did 2 years ago, when LeBron James, Wade, and Bosh, all captains of their own team, came into one team and had a fight for who was going to be in charge of everything else. So, quoted by Kobe, he already established whose team it was. He says, "I got a question earlier about whose team this is. I don't want to get into it. Well, we share. No, it's my team," he said. And Nash and Howard agreed. Howard goes on to say, "Learning from Kobe, I think this is something that I need for myself so I can grow as a player and as a person." he's been there. He's been through almost every single situation possible on the court and off the court. I think he can really help me out a lot. And Steve Nash also states it's undoubtedly his team. So with that established, that could have been a reason why they would lose, like Miami did 2 years ago, but not going to be a reason. And then you have the NBA schedule. I don't know if you guys looked at their schedule, but it's pretty easy. It's like they only play 5 teams that really have a chance. Well, now it was Bulls, but not anymore with Rose out. But they play them twice. They got Oklahoma 5 times this season. They got Boston 1 time, Miami 3 times. No, Miami 1 time, sorry, and San Antonio 4 times. So, with those are the only teams that actually got in the way last year, but they can still be. They're just good matchups now. It's not any problem. And with the increase in points, rebounds, and assists, and experience, I expect Lakers to go deep in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, I just believe that they're going to win the championship.
All right. The proposition is labeled, but you phrase it as a claim. As a question instead of a claim, and you want to use the declarative sentence. Don't tell us why they're going to win it. Say they are going to win it. I don't understand why you're putting the question in front of that. That doesn't make any sense. At the end of the speech, you have a more straightforward declaration of what your position is. So we know what your position is. It's just the phrasing is awkward. There's no setup of what the secondary points are going to be, and I think that would help the listeners follow a little bit more, because you get started on some detailed information on statistics and some other information that you're presenting, and I'm not sure that everybody's going to be paying attention to how you grouped it. Now, I was able to pick out a couple things because I remember talking to you about this, and I thought you did a pretty good job on the players section comparing how the Lakers have improved themselves off of the bench, how their scoring ought to be higher, but of course that's assuming that everybody scores at the average that they've been scoring and they don't have any of those particular problems. I think that would be one of those things that you might want to demonstrate, that there's a less likelihood that they're going to run into those kinds of problems. That was fine. The comparison on the schedule, I think, needed to be a little bit more complete. I know that you were running out of time at that point, maybe a little bit less time on how deep the bench was going to be and all of the individual points, and then there were some other comparisons that I think needed to be sharpened up. The issue about it's kind of a rebuttal issue, thinking that maybe this team is going to be divided because they have too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. And I thought that you tried to reduce that, as it appears that all 3 of the big names are trying to reduce that. I'm not sure any of that discussion was substantially different than what you got with the Heat 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I imagine they probably said very similar kinds of things, but that doesn't mean that it always works out that way. So I think that if you could show, for instance, that Kobe has a history of working along and cooperating with his other team members, that would have helped. Of course, that would be a miracle. Okay, yeah, it worked really well.